Hey guys, welcome back to the Struggleville YouTube channel. For this video, I thought we'd take a look at my latest eBay sales. If you've ever considered selling on eBay, maybe give you an idea of some of the possibilities and what you might be able to get for some stuff. Or if you're already an eBay seller, again, maybe give you some ideas of things that you haven't sold in the past or something to keep an eye out when you're at garage sales, auctions, thrift stores, whatever it is. And, the main channel, way back when it was first started, was all about selling on eBay and Amazon. So I have a high degree of knowledge on the process on how to do it. So if you do have any questions, feel free, or you can email me, pj@struggleville.net, and I can help you with shipping or fees or any questions you might have. Anyway, I don't think we talked about any of this in the last video because I just went through my latest sales. The first thing we have, and by the way, I'm not in a hurry here. We all have several months of sitting at home doing absolutely nothing. So we'll just meander our way through this without a care in the world. Okay, the first item, DeWalt 2-piece combo kit. There's a drill in there and the impact driver. It came with 2 batteries and a charger. It says I sold this thing 4 times, and it's kind of confusing to me because I'm pretty sure when I went to the store and bought it, I bought 3 of them. I have done this deal 4 times, though. Oh, I remember now. Okay. I did this deal 4 times, but I kept 1 for myself. And then one person bought one, and they chose the more expensive shipping options. So then they messaged me and asked me to cancel that sale so they could repurchase and pay for the cheaper shipping option. Which I could have just refunded them the difference and everything, but then it gets a little sketchy because the cheaper shipping option was slower, so then it might not arrive in the time that it was stated, and if they wanted to be a dick, which they probably wouldn't, but then they could complain that I didn't ship it the way that they paid for, and then you got to prove, hey, this was the message, and it's easier, even though it was easier just to have them refund, or give them a refund, and then they repurchased it and paid for the shipping that they actually wanted. So that's why it's showing up 4 when I bought 3, because one person bought the same item twice, technically. Now, that person I took a best offer. I think it was $179.99. This was a little while ago. The second person bought 2, which was kind of nice to put both of them in one box and ship it off. And they paid the full $189.99 price. Now, when I bought it, I want to say I paid something around $220. But then I also got $30 back in Farm and Fleet bucks, cash, whatever they call it. It's essentially a gift card that you could use later. And I also got a free bear tool with each one. So for the bear tools, I got the compact reciprocating saw, which I kept for myself. And then I got the router, which this was actually the second time I've gotten the router, because when I did this deal the very first time, I got the router and kept it for myself. The second router I sold, which we talked about in another video. I don't remember what I got for it. And then I think it was $130. And then the half-inch drive impact wrench was the other free item that I sold. So it was a pretty good deal, and I love these deals where you get a free bear tool or you get a free battery or whatever, because it really subsidizes the overall cost of the whole thing. And for me personally, I'm really trying to transition my eBay store from just general kind of merchandise into just tools. I really want it to be just tools, so then it kind of coincides with the website, and when I sell something to somebody, I can also include some advertisements for my website to try and draw more traffic to it. So that's kind of my strategy here, and you'll notice as we go through, there's a lot of non-tool things, and I had about 5 or 6 shelving units in my dining room, plastic shelving units, floor to ceiling, just full of stuff, overflowing. And I've been able to get rid of, I believe, 3 of those so far. Get everything either sold or listed. It goes down to my basement once I list it, because that's where all my storage stuff is. Anyways, it's all stuff that's unlisted, that has not been listed yet, that was in the dining room. Once it gets listed, it goes down to the basement, and then I have a spreadsheet that tells me where everything is at. But I'm just trying to get rid of all that old merchandise. Some things I'm listing, other things I'm just like, it's not worth my time, I'm just going to get rid of it. But I'm telling you, I'm so stingy, and I know the stuff has some value, it's just not worth my time. It's really hard for me to just essentially throw things away that I know I can make money on. But I just don't have the time to deal with it. So a lot of it's going to go to a garage sale. Some of it will just go straight to donation. Anything that doesn't sell in the garage sale is going to get donated also. So Some of the stuff's been sitting for 5 years. It's been so long since I've been full-time into eBay now because I've gone so much in on the website that it has to go. I'm so tired of looking at it and it sitting there and it being in the way. My number one priority over the winter was to get rid of all that crap and to clear out that room, and it just didn't happen. Things were so busy, and it's going to start getting warm out, and I want to get out working and driving on the cars, working on the cars and driving them and stuff, and it's just, things got to go. Okay. So the next item we have here is the vintage Tyco slot cars, electric trucking dump truck red super reds. I actually put this as an auction, which I very rarely do things as an auction, but I didn't really know the value because I was combining a couple of different things together. And what I like to do here is these all have value individually, but when you put a few things together and it's an auction, you know, one guy might be bidding because he wants that yellow Corvette, or another person might be bidding because they want that red dump truck. So they're kind of competing against each other, but they might want something different, if that makes sense. And I feel like that can, and sometimes that can drive up the price a little bit. I was happy to get $51 plus shipping. I was able to test all of these. What I did was, at a Salvation Army a couple of years ago, I bought several of these Tyco slot car racing sets. So there was the Corvettes that came with the Super Vets set. They're all from the 80s. There was a Fiero set. There was the electric trucking, which is where the dump truck came from. And then I got a G.I. Joe set. I paid about $12 or $13 a piece for them. I already sold the Fiero set a little while ago. I don't think that's in this video, though, so maybe it was too long ago that it didn't make it. You see I sold the Corvettes and the dump truck thing, and I have the G.I. Joe currently listed. But what I found out was the sets are worth slightly more when you have all the tracks and all the pieces, but by the time you figure in the additional shipping charges, because now you're shipping a huge box, and the time it's going to take to go through all of that crap and to package it up and just the extra hassle, you're really better off just taking the cars out and selling the cars by themselves. Now, that's not 100%, but I would say that's a general rule. Now, the G.I. Joe, I put it all together because you're not just talking about slot car people. It's not even considered a slot car set. It's a train set, really. But you're also looking at people who collect G.I. Joe stuff, and the box has all the G.I. Joe graphics on it, and there was a ton of accessories in that thing. There's all these different vehicles that aren't slot cars at all. They're just like little Jeeps and little tanks and all that stuff. So I did put that all together. The story of getting this was actually kind of interesting. It's a story of no good deed goes unpunished. So I had 4 of these big boxes of these slot cars, and they wouldn't fit in the cart, so I had them laying across the top of the cart, right? It was in the middle of winter, snow and everything on the ground, and I go through the checkout, and you know when you leave a store, there's like the ramp going down as you approach the parking lot, right? Well, someone had pulled up to the store, you know, near the doors, and this lady was trying to load, like, it was like a table and chairs, like a dining room, like it's not huge, but like a little dining room table and chairs into her car, and she couldn't get it. So I stopped, you know, but I'm on the approach, which I didn't think about, I guess, and it's all snowy, and I went over to help her load up her car, and I heard it. I just tried to ignore it. As I'm helping her load up her stuff, I hear a crash, and the stupid boxes slid off of my cart onto the ground and just spilled all the pieces all over the place. But it's not like just on the ground. It's in the snow and ice and everything. Like, there's cardboard stuff, and it's getting wet, and the G.I. Joes had like 30 little army men, which I didn't have them all when I listed it, so maybe it did at one time have them all. But it was so funny because the lady was right there. She saw, I don't know if she heard, but she saw the stuff all laying on the ground, and she just gets in her car and thanks and leaves. I'm like, dude, I just helped you load your car. You couldn't help me pick up all my shit that just fell while I'm helping you? Oh my God. Like, hope she got a flat tire on her way home. Next, we got the Hart 20-volt charger. And you guys saw this in the drill video and the video with the buffer. We did a couple deal alerts on these things. Paid $39 for the buffer. I got the battery, which is coming up, we'll show you. We got the charger for $20. I've sold 2 of them so far. I sold more too, but they were a previous listing. but it's a really easy sell. You know you can only buy them at Walmart. This particular item, they don't even sell by itself, so there is no like bare tool, just buying the charger in this. It comes with the kits. So I think as the Heart lineup grows, we'll see how many people jump in on eBay to start selling their parts and pieces, but assuming that the market doesn't get completely flooded, it's pretty easy for me to make money on this stuff. But again, I don't consider eBay my full-time income anymore, so even if it does, I'm not heartbroken over it. So here's the battery, and most of the same spiel applies to this. You can see I'm selling for $30 a piece plus shipping. And I think this exact same battery, if you were to buy just the battery at Walmart, is like $45. Considering it's never been used, I just took it out of the packaging to sell. It's a decent deal for people. I've sold 4 of those and have 8 left to go. So not too bad there. This one was totally my mistake. It sold within like 5 minutes of listing the thing. And one thing I hate about listing on eBay, especially if you're in a hurry and you're just not paying attention to what you're doing, is there's a section at the bottom of the page when you're listing an item for sale where you enter all of the shipping information. So you can add the dimensions of the box it'll be in, the weight of the item, what shipping services you want to use. You can use just one, or you can use a bunch of them. You say whether it's going to be just a flat rate that you're charging everybody for shipping, or if it's going to be calculated based on the information you gave them regarding the box. And for this item, I filled in all of the stuff, and I wanted it to be calculated shipping because this got sent in a regional A box, which means the price would be different depending where in the country it was going. And when you do free shipping, it's just this little checkbox in that section. So you can add all that information in, but if you check that little free shipping box, it still offers free shipping. And as I was going through it, I just forgot to uncheck the box. The previous item I had just listed was something I was selling for free shipping, and that's what happened to me. So I got to use this item for a video, and that's part of why I buy some of these tools, and then I don't have a use for it because I have like 4 of these inflators already. So what the hell am I going to do with this thing? I already got a bunch of them, and that's why we're also have been doing the giveaways. A lot of the giveaways were things that appeared in videos before, and, what am I going to do now? So anyway, it's not like a huge loss because I made my money back in just doing that video for it. It's just unfortunate that I should have got more for it. So $19.99, but shipping was probably $10, and then the fees was probably another $3. So I got $7 on it, and I think the thing originally cost like $48, but it came with the battery, the charger, and the LED light. So it's not like, it's just a missed opportunity more than anything. This VetGuard stuff was free after rebate at Menards. And I used to sell a lot of the free after rebate Menards stuff on eBay. But a lot of it is such a low value. I mean, they're giving it away for free. It's such a low value that it's hard to be worth your time to do all of that. But here we have $8.88. Shipping was really cheap because this stuff weighs almost nothing. So $3 to ship or something. And I sold 4 total. It was 2 different customers that each bought 2, and the shipping was almost the same for that, so it was almost for me like a buy one get one free on shipping. But $8.88 a piece, not a huge profit again. Some of the things that really aren't worth the time, but if you are trying to build a new eBay account, it's nice to sell small dollar stuff because it's a way to build up your feedback and your DSRs, detailed seller ratings, without breaking the bank. And if you're new to eBay, I feel like people's first instinct is to find the most expensive thing they have in their house and try and sell it because they want to get all this money out of it. But buyers don't trust, and this isn't as dramatic as it used to be back in the day, but buyers don't trust a new seller as much as they'll trust someone like, I have 3,300 feedback, it's 100% positive feedback score. So people are going to have trust that I'm actually going to send them the item and that it's going to be in the condition that I stated in. If you have 0 feedback and you're listing an item that's like a $500 item, you're not going to get what it's worth for it. You're just not. It's either never going to sell, people are going to lowball you if you add best offer, or if you do an auction, you're just not going to get the bids you should. So new accounts should definitely start with cheaper stuff and also things that are easy to ship until you get used to the process and build up your feedback and all that. So this was another thing that at the time I had the gameplay video in the listing, and that's why that's in the title. And I have a page on my website on how to do that, but because I don't talk about eBay stuff anymore on my main channel, I don't even know where the URL is on my website. If I can't find it, nobody else can, but if someone else, I guess I can figure it out. Anyway, I like to put the videos in the listings, as I've stated in videos on this channel, because I really think it helps sell an item. If a person can see it, they can hear it. In this case, it's a game, so you see how the game functions. And that's one side of it. The other side of it, and it doesn't apply to this channel because my videos aren't monetized here, but if you were on a monetized YouTube channel, you would also get ad revenue from people watching that. So, in a lot of times with a cheaper item, if you went to a thrift store, like this thing was probably 49 cents or 99 cents, the ad revenue from the video would be more than what I paid for the damn thing. So it's already paid for itself. Plus, I feel like it's helped sell the item. So there's a lot of win-wins in the scenario of making videos that you include in your listings. Now this one, I deleted the video because when that Kappa thing came around, and for those of you who don't know, YouTube, I don't know if it was really a lawsuit or if they just got fined, but the government slapped them for having the way videos were geared towards children, and if they're under 13, there's a certain rules regarding collecting data and things of that on minors or kids 13 and under. So anyway, now when you upload a video to YouTube, you have to say, is it geared towards children or not? And I guess you can get in trouble if you classify it in the wrong direction, but also if it is geared towards children, you have limited ads, you're going to have the comments turned off, there's a lot of adverse things that happen, and for me, well, this video was, I think it was on this channel. No, I don't remember if it was on my main channel so it made money, or if it was over here on this one and it didn't make any money, because I already deleted it. Well, either way, I went through my channels, and 99% of the stuff that could even conceivably be considered geared towards children, I just deleted. But it's really ambiguous because, like, that G.I. Joe thing I was talking about, I did a video on that. That thing's from the early 80s. Really, the target audience is probably people in their 30s or 40s who had one as a kid. I don't think the target audience is a 10-year-old that wants to look at toys from the 80s. Is there going to be a percentage of them that do watch the video? Probably, but is that, so in that scenario, is that a COPA thing? Is that not a COPA thing? I'm trying to avoid that ambiguity just because why risk any portion of my account on something that's such small potatoes? So that's why this was deleted, but a little handheld NASCAR game. Next, I don't even remember where I got this. I had a grocery bag full of tools, and I have no idea where they came from. They were sitting there for so long. The only thing I can think of is either last year or 2 years ago, I went to a garage sale and bought several tables worth of tools. The guy had them all in different buckets and bins and stuff. And everything was either individually priced or priced by the bucket. Like, everything in this bucket's $1, everything in this bucket's $2. So, I offered him, I can't remember if I ended up paying $100 or $125 for several tables worth of stuff. It was a lot. And I feel like I pulled this out of that listing. I haven't listed most of that stuff, actually. It's still just sitting around. I'm waiting to get through all the other crap in the dining room before I even start on that stuff. But anyway, I think that might have been why it was there, and I don't know how it got to the bag and got in the I don't know all that, but I think that's where it came from. Anyway, $9.99 plus shipping isn't too bad. The downfall on these is some of them are really big, which gets expensive to ship. This one was a little bit smaller. It was made in USA, which is a plus, but it did not have any other brand markings on it. And you can get all sorts of little, ones with the brace on them and everything. I don't know if people just get these to collect them or if people are actually out there running around using these, but I'll stick with my DeWalt. A little less arm work. But they are kind of neat. This one wasn't incredibly old either. If you look at the chuck and stuff, unless the chuck's been replaced, I have no idea. And a lot of times that cap will unscrew on the bottom and you can put bits. It's like hollowed out and you can put bits in there. So, it wasn't the nicest one in the world, but for $10, the person got a decent deal there. There's another item that was a free Menards item, and it says 14 sold, but it's so much more than that. I've sold hundreds of them, but at one time I had them on Amazon too, so maybe most of the sales came through Amazon. It was free after rebate at Menards. There was no limit. It might have fallen into also the 11% price adjustment, so you end up making money on each one you buy. $6.99. Now they cost about $3 to ship because shipping prices keep going up. But I've had these for a couple of years. They probably were originally $2 and change, maybe $2.50 to ship. Comes with a little microfiber cloth, the spray cleaner. This thing here is actually a screwdriver. It's a keychain with an eyeglass screwdriver on either side. You got a Phillips and a slotted, and then it comes with replacement screws and a couple sets of nose pieces. So you're getting quite a bit in the little kit. And I'm down to only 14 of those. I'll be glad when they're gone. They're really easy though. I just put them in a bubble mailer and slap them off. So I probably shouldn't, but I want to get this stuff cleared out so bad. Next item we have here is a AC power adapter, and if you want to take the time to do it, these things are they're high profit, but they take a while to sell. Really easy to test. Just get a multimeter and stick one probe inside, one to the outside, and it'll give you the voltage when it's plugged in. And it doesn't have to be exact. If it says the output voltage is 5, but you're getting like 6.2 or something, no, it's fine. It'll be 0 if it doesn't work, or just way off the scale. But every single one I've ever tested was either very close to what it said the output voltage was, or 0. I haven't had anything else. Anyway, if it's 0, it's broken, obviously. But what I would do with these is I would bag them and then I'd number them. You can see this one's number 4, so it's been sitting around a long-ass time because we got up to over 100 at one time. But what makes them such a high profitability is you can get them free all the time. Garage sales and stuff, people just throw them in a box. They'll be at the end of the driveway and free, and there's all these cables in there. You can just take them. It's really quick to test and easy to do. Most of them are going to be under a pound, so they'll go first class mail. You can fit them in a bubble mailer of some sort, and they don't take up a lot of space. I have them in a rolling tub that's in divided drawers, and it's just numbered. 1 through 50's in this drawer, 50 through 100's in this drawer. Some of them can sell for a lot. It depends how specialty they are. The more specialty it is, the more you can sell it for. But it's also the longer it takes to sell. So I had some that were for a speaker set. And I forgot what brand it was. But I had them listed for $40 a piece because one had previously sold for that much and there was none currently listed. So I thought, well, if somebody has these speakers and they need a new power supply for them, I'm your man, and you're going to pay up for it. The one thing you're not going to be looking for is very generic cords, like the micro USB or USB-C for your cell phone. That's not going to sell. You're looking for like barrel connectors and other gadgets that use proprietary or goofy connections. But it's super easy. They all have model numbers. Look up the model number, look up the sold listings on eBay, and that'll tell you all you need to know. So next we have another tool item. We got a Milwaukee charger and 1.5 amp hour battery. And every time I have extra chargers, I try to pair them with a battery when I sell it, because the charger themselves don't have enough value to really be worth selling. A lot of times, almost every time I would imagine, except for in the case of that Hart where it's just a little slide-on charger. But anytime you get these full-size chargers like the Milwaukee, the DeWalt's, pretty much everyone else uses, it's going to weigh 1 to 2 pounds. And it'll fit in a regional A box, which means the weight really doesn't matter too much. I don't want to get too convoluted here for people who don't know shipping because it'll get confusing. But essentially, it costs me the same to ship just the charger or ship the charger with the battery. However, the charger does not have much value by itself. So shipping-wise, it's not really costing me more, but I'm able to throw in an extra item that I have to get rid of anyways. I don't need extra chargers. I could let it sit around for a garage sale, or I could just throw it in the trash. I might as well list it with something and just get it out of the house and get a little extra for it. So the other thing is the 1.5 amp hour battery by itself doesn't have a ton of value. It's a tiny battery. Everyone wants the 2s or the 3s or the 4s, the 6s, the better ones, the ones that will last longer. So $34.99 plus shipping on that. This Lufkin was actually an Acme Tools deal that came as a whole set, and it's a 25-foot tape measure. It was a breast cancer set, Susan G. Komen edition, which is why I asked $19.99 plus shipping, because it's pink and it's a hard sell, because how many guys want a pink tape measure? But if you got a woman, then a pink tape measure would be more appealing. And there weren't any others available, or maybe very few available. I don't know it now, but $19.99 plus the $6 to ship. I can't remember what I paid at Acme Tools. I know it was free shipping because it was a special promotion. I want to say it was around Black Friday, somewhere between Black Friday and Christmas. It was I want to say it was $9.99. I really strongly want to say it was $9.99, but that feels too low to me. So maybe it was $19.99. I tried before the video looking up my order history on Acme Tools, but I either don't log in when I buy things or their order history sucks because it shows absolutely nothing, and I've bought several things from there. So I don't get it. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, it came with this tape measure, it came with a folding razor knife, and it came with a 4-pack of crescent screwdrivers. So I either made money or broke even on just the tape measure, plus I have a free folding razor knife and a free 4-pack of screwdrivers. So I was really happy to get that sold. Here's a Goodwill or maybe Salvation Army item that I picked up a long time ago. I paid $5 for it because the price tag was still on it when I just listed it like a week ago. And it's still in the plastic. As you can see, it is a construction calculator. A Sonnen Inchmate 2000. I would have no idea how to use this thing. It does all sorts of angles and construction calculations. Anyway, I got $49.99 for it, plus $5 for shipping. I think it was made in like 93 or 91, it said. And this is the thing about electronics that sometimes worry me a little bit when they're still in the plastic. In theory, it has never been opened. It should work. But if it came with batteries, and this thing didn't say if it had batteries in it or not, over 20, 30 years, they could easily have corroded and damaged the item. Either way, even if they just corroded, a person would be mad when they opened it. But from my perspective, if I open that thing, I can't sell it as new anymore. So I've diminished the value probably quite a bit. But I didn't know if it had batteries. I didn't open it because if it would have said it had batteries in it, I would have had to have opened it. Or at the very least put a disclaimer in my listing saying, hey, this thing came with batteries, it's never been opened, they could be corroded. But I probably would have just opened it to save myself the headache of a return, because that's such a pain in the ass, and it costs you so much money. By the time you pay for the shipping both ways on so many items, it's a pain in the ass. So this sold a while ago. The person hasn't complained or said anything. I'm sure they've gotten it a while ago, so it was probably fine. I don't think it had batteries in it. I think it would probably say batteries included if it did. But that is one thing that I worry about with electronics, especially stuff that's new in the package where I can't check the battery compartment. A lot of times when I would go to the thrift stores, I'd have like a little screwdriver. I actually have a, what's that called, the Wallet Ninja, and it's got a screwdriver in the corner of it. I also had a keychain that was a Phillips screwdriver that I'd carry with me. But anyway, right in the store, you could unscrew if there was a screw holding on the battery cover, take it off, and then you would be able to, see, batteries are corroded. I'm not even touching that thing because who wants to mess around with that? So, you can clean it up and sometimes it'll still work, but just not worth the hassle on most things. And the other thing is, if you do buy electronic stuff like that, I take the batteries out immediately. Don't let it sit for a second that you own it, because at any time those things corrode, they leak, they do whatever, and, ruins your item that you just paid for. But $50 for something that had been sitting around for years, it's kind of nice. This is all like found money that was just sitting around. And this is why it's so hard for me just to donate a lot of this stuff or put it in a garage sale, because I know it does have some value. It's not something I'm interested in anymore as far as the non-tool stuff, and I don't have the extra time. That's why it's been sitting for so many years. It wasn't that I didn't want to get it listed, it's that so many things are going on I didn't have time. So next we have a Philips Sonicare FlexCare toothbrush handle, sold for $14.99 plus shipping. I could have got more for it. It's a rechargeable toothbrush, but it doesn't have the head on it, right? The bristle part that you would stick in your mouth was not included. I had to sell it as seller refurbished, which maybe technically isn't correct, but I definitely couldn't sell it as new, because it's not new. And they don't allow you to sell toothbrushes, it's listed as a toothbrush, as used. So there's no nuance that, hey, yes, it's used, but this isn't the bristle part. This is the base. So I had to sell it as seller refurbished, and because I thought, it might be a little sketch, like, they're probably not going to say anything, but if someone wanted to be a dick and report the listing or something, they could do that. Again, it's low likelihood of getting in trouble for it, but I'm just trying to wash this stuff out. I'm not trying to get top dollar. Anyway, I think I could have got more for it. It sold the same day I listed it. And usually when things sell, as soon as you list them, you made a mistake. Like that free shipping thing earlier. If it's priced right, it'll take a little bit to sell. Because I guess it depends on your pricing strategy, but for me, I like to see what's the most anyone's gotten for that. I'm going to list mine for that and then add best offer, knowing that I got plenty of cushion if someone wants to give me a lower offer. That's typically how I would price things. Most of this stuff, I priced what's the cheapest that it sold, but I'm still going to make something out of it. What's going to get this thing away quickly. So here we have the flashlight, which the flashlight was paired with the inflator, I do believe, and $14.99 and $5 for shipping. That's actually more than I kind of expected to get out of it. I was able to ship it in just a little box. It probably cost about $5 to ship, but it went first class mail. And yeah, it's an okay flashlight, but it's not going to amaze you. This is one item that real headache for me, because these were originally listed on Amazon. And one time I had tons of stuff listed on Amazon. I probably had 5, 6, 7,000 things listed on Amazon, and that was when most of it was in FBA warehouses. But over the last couple of years, Amazon has gotten really strict on sellers selling new merchandise, or even they've gotten really strict on everything, because they gated, which means they blocked certain sellers from selling CDs, they gated them from DVDs, they gated them from selling clothing, so you had to get special permissions to do all that, and then they've done individual brands where they've banned you from selling them, and then sometimes I've had 6, 7 times a brand actually claim a copyright against me for me selling their item, but I don't even know how they're claiming that it's a copyright infringement when I didn't make the item, I didn't recreate your item, I'm just selling an item that I bought of your brands at another store. And there's something called the first sale doctrine, which basically says that once you buy an item, you now have control over it, and the company that produced it no longer has control over what you do with it outside of you cannot replicate it. So there's a whole argument that goes back and forth online of if that holds true or not. But the point is, Amazon immediately sides with these other companies the second they do this copyright strike on you. And there's really no way to fight it. And eventually you're going to get your account completely banned. And because I've already been doing less Amazon selling, or at this time I was already getting away from Amazon selling and focusing more on my website. However, my website relies on my affiliate links, and my affiliate account is under the same account as my selling account. And I thought, well, crap, if my selling account gets suspended for any reason, does that suspend my affiliate account also? And then that just makes a shit show of the whole thing. So I thought it was prudent to just clear out everything on my selling account, just zero out all the inventory, delete all the listings, and now I have still, I'd say, over 1,000 items in my basement that I have to still figure out what to do with. They are currently not for sale anywhere. Not for sale on eBay, not for sale on Amazon. And it's the same predicament I have in the dining room is, do I take the time to recreate these listings and sell them on eBay where they will make less than what they would have on Amazon? And it's really just a fight to get my money back and not lose money on all those items. So, the good thing is they're all in tubs. They're fine. They're not going to get damaged. They're probably losing value as they sit anyways because they're just getting older, but whatever. Some of them could actually go up in value because I have things that are new in the box that maybe aren't going to be produced anymore, and if someone's looking for a new one, I'll be the only one that has it, but that's probably the exception, not the rule. The stuff that's down there. So this Battling Tops game, I don't remember where I got it. I don't remember what I paid for it, but at $9.99, I guarantee you I'm not making any money on this. It's really just clear out what's available. So you can see 4 of them have sold. 3 are still available, and I got some of those items that are from Amazon listed on eBay just because I started working on it a little bit, and there's 11 shelving units down there, and I went through the smallest one, which isn't full size, 1, 2, 3. I went through 3 of the 11 so far, and either boxed things up for a garage sale or did get some of it listed. Here we have a Red Octane Ignition 3.0 multi-platform dance pad. So I guess it's for Dance Dance Revolution or maybe some other rock band type games or something. It works. It has a USB plug on it. It works for Xbox and it works for PS2, which is kind of neat because it has different ends you can put on there. I bought 2 of them. One was in the box. One was opened. And I paid $5 a piece for them. And I got $69.99. I think I took a best offer on both of them. I want to say it was closer to $50, but either way, at $5, I made a bunch of money. And it wasn't as hard to ship as it may look from here because it's this big flat pad. Inside there, that's all zipped up. There's 9 foam pads that go together almost like a puzzle. And they're either numbered or lettered, I can't remember, but it shows you how to put them together. So once you took apart all those foam pads and folded up this plasticky mesh thing, it was kind of a big box, but not too bad, and obviously not breakable. It's mostly foam, so you didn't have to worry about that. And that was a really good sale, and they were taking up a lot of space here, so I'm glad they are both gone. Some of these SAE sockets are finally selling. We talked about the metric ones in the last video, and the SAE ones really suck. Man, they were bad. If I would have known, if I knew then what I know now, I would have bought 0 of the SAEs. So first off, there's less people out there looking for SAE sockets versus metric sockets. Most people only want metric. So that's the first downfall. The second downfall, even though this is a 9-piece socket set, and the metrics were also a 9-piece socket set, I don't know if these sockets were bigger or what the deal was, but the SAEs were heavier. So when I sold the metrics, they were 12 ounces. They could go first class shipping, which is a cheaper shipping service. These are over a pound. So they have to go priority mail, which makes it a couple dollars more to ship. So it cost me about $8 to ship these, and I'm only selling it for $13, and you guys subtract all my fees out of that. So this is another item where it's more me just getting rid of it than actually making any money. The metric ones I was actually able to make, I think it was $3 or $4 each time one sold, probably closer to $3, which again isn't a huge profit, but it's a tool buyer. So my website, in theory, is something that could interest them, and I want to include that advertisement with the shipment to try and drive more traffic over there. So some of the tool stuff, as long as I'm not losing money, I don't mind low profit and spending the time listing and shipping these things because I feel like there is auxiliary benefits to selling the item. But I really would have made out better if this would have went first class too. Another item we're just trying to clear out. Paid 99 cents for it. It's a Texas Instruments connectivity kit. It's just a USB cable that plugs into your Texas Instruments calculators. And I got $9.99 plus shipping. Again, not breakable, so I was able to just put it in a padded flat rate, or not flat rate, padded envelope. I listed it as open box only because the cardboard was all bent up. It was still sealed in the plastic. It was technically new, but since the cardboard was all kind of bent and didn't look the greatest, I thought one of my goals is just to avoid customer complaints at all costs. So I will err on the side of caution wherever I can and try and, temper expectations. I'd rather it be in better condition when they receive it than to receive it and be all pissed off about what they got. So it means you probably earn a little bit less on the sales, but you'll save in less customer complaints and less returns and stuff. The worst you can do is try and hide flaws or whatever in your pictures, because it's just going to bite you in the ass. You're going to get negative feedback, which means in the future you're going to get less sales and people are going to be unhappy. It's not worth what you're going to gain out of it. Here's one of these. I just didn't want to take the time, but I used to sell staplers individually, and some of them can go for quite a bit of money, and other ones I would mostly list just because my store at one time probably had 30 staplers in it. So if someone's looking for a stapler, I had a link that would say, hey, if you are interested in staplers, here are all the other ones that I sell, and so one would help sell the others. $50 plus shipping is pretty good for just a bunch of staplers that were sitting around. These are always really cheap when you go to thrift stores. None of these were incredibly interesting. That Swingline maroon one there, anytime you get stuff that's funky colors, it can sell a little better than just like the plain black ones. That's also why I picked up the bright blue Ace one there. That's a Swingline also with that push button, that beige. So something that old is going to have a little extra value. Let's see. Is there any other one of note? Those two in the back, I think the gray one, the little guys, looking at the two little guys, the grayish blue, whatever color that is, one on the right is definitely a Cub, a Swingline Cub. The one on the left, I believe, also is a Cub. They use regular size staples, but they're about half the size of a stapler, and they're vintage, so people like those. The other thing is they're light, so they're really easy to ship. I don't remember what these ones are, but a lot of these push button, the ones where it's a push button on top, sell really well. The bright chrome one that's on the end, those will do really well. There's one that looks like this chrome one on the right, but is in the effect that it's chrome. And then it looks more like the style of these push buttons there. And I'm trying to think, I think it's an Ace Liner. Oh, they have different numbers on them. It's been so long since I've sold them. Anyway, you can get $30, $40 for them. There's different sizes, kind of different variations, but some that most of these things, the worst case is maybe staples are jammed in it or a little piece of a staple is stopping it from working, but most of the time these staplers will work, and they're not too bad to sell. I mean, I got $50 for those. I'm happy about it, right? Next, I was kind of surprised on these Stanley tape measures I had. I was kind of going through some old tools that I just know I'm not going to use. I have 35 tape measures, and I'm really liking the Milwaukee. I like the magnetic 25-foot one. I've been happy with that. And I have this other one that is a right to left tape measure, so it's kind of backwards from all others, but I'm left-handed, so I really like using that one. It's just handier when I'm taking pictures of things and I need my left hand available, because the camera, the button's on the right. So if you have to hold the tape measure in your right hand, I don't have two right hands. I have a right and I have a left. So otherwise everything's got to be upside down on the tape measure, which is a little pain in the ass. Anyway, I was surprised that these vintage tape measures did as well as they did. This was a 16-foot Stanley Power Lock 2. They actually have some neat stuff. I can't remember if it was this one or the next one. The underside of the tape has all these like measurements, decimal equivalents, nail sizes, all this cool information that I don't know of any tape measures nowadays that have all that stuff on the back side, but that was actually really neat. Anyway, $15 plus $5 to ship. Again, it probably didn't cost me $5 to ship because it's really a light item that goes first class mail. And that was something that was just sitting around. And then here is my DeWalt reciprocating saw, and I had just picked this up with a 9-tool combo kit, and most of it was brushed tools. I think only the oscillating tool that came with it was brushless, and I just got a really good deal on the entire set a while back, and when the deal came up for Farm and Fleet, where you got a free bear tool, well, they had the compact one that is brushless. And I thought, well, let's go ahead and upgrade, and we just sell the old one. So for a used reciprocating saw, I got $60 plus shipping, which isn't a great deal because I think Amazon right now has new ones of this exact saw for $68. But to be honest, on my eBay store, I don't have a high level of interest in giving people great deals on the stuff. I'm trying to make money on the stuff. I want you to pay as much as I can get you to pay for it because I want money in my pocket. It's completely different than what I'm trying to do on my website. It's the exact opposite. And that's why, I'm doing like these sales videos and stuff where I'm not trying to sell you guys these products. In fact, these are all products that are already sold. I just want to give people ideas of things they can sell if they want to make some extra money for themselves. But if you watch, the videos on my main channel or whatever, you might not know that I sell on eBay, or you certainly haven't seen my eBay items in videos because I'm not trying to sell these products to YouTube subscribers or YouTube viewers. It's not the intention at all. And part of the reason is because I know you can get better deals somewhere else. I'm not trying to give anyone a great deal on eBay. I'm trying to make money and then awareness for my website too. So anyway, $60 plus shipping was a good deal for me, especially since I already made money on that whole bear tool combo thing anyways. Last item, guys. We have another Stanley tape measure. This is the Power Lock. If you remember, the last one was the Power Lock 2. So it's the original Power Lock, I guess you could say. Made in USA. Vintage Stanley tape measure. Got $14.99 plus $5. Is that the same I got for the other one? It might have been. And this one doesn't have anything on the underside. So I guess it was one of their upgrades. Alright, guys. I think we killed enough time here. 1 hour down. 3 months to go. We're going to have to come up with some stuff to do around here. Get a deck of cards. Play a little solitaire, maybe. It was funny, I saw so many people complaining about not being able to, go to parties or congregate with their friends or whatever. What's the difference? You go from sitting in a bar or something looking at your phone on your social media to now you're just sitting on your couch looking at your phone and your social media or whatever else you're doing on your phone. Just a change of scenery. You're still looking at your phone 90% of the time. Oh. Alright, guys. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Give the video a like, subscribe for another subscriber. I'll see you guys next time.